Hello there. Um, it has been a really long time since I have done a Facebook Live, so I'm super excited to be here. And I actually have stuff to talk about. Sometimes I just do a Facebook Live to say hi. Um, I am recording this, or I'm doing this live at a time that's probably not going to work for a lot of my American friends. So I'm guessing you are watching this as a recording right now. So if you are hopping on with the replay, just say hi so I know that you watched it. Otherwise, I'm going to pester you. um, so I got myself all comfortable today. I wanted to show you one thing. I'm sharing everything I'm excited about, which is mostly art. But then I realized I have a chance to show off my tie mat, which, if you can see, is this long mat on the floor. I just got it. I used to be a massage therapist, and I learned Thai massage, and it's something I've really missed. And now I am getting back into it, so I'm super excited about that. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Rachael Shores. I am a healing visionary artist. I'm getting used to saying my titles. I used to just say artist and let people figure it out. But, and the reason I'm on today is because I'm working hard. That's why I wear my bandana so I can remember that this is a work in progress. I'm putting my online art show together. I did a number of paintings this year, and I'm going to be sharing about that whole experience, and I'm going to do that in 3 parts. So this is part 1 today, this morning, and we're going to just start with the beginning, and I'll get into the rest throughout the rest of the week. So I hope you come back for that. So a little bit about me. I'm American, originally from Minnesota, living in Germany. We've been here for nearly 3 years, and I'm a world traveler and a bit of a spiritual background. But I would like to start with a year ago, a little more than a year ago. This actually starts in May. In May of last year, I had just lost my job. I had done a 6-month contract, so I didn't technically lose it. It was a 6-month trial, and the way they do it here in Germany, for some places, you get your 6-month contract, and then you can renew that afterwards. And I was working at this little coffee shop chain, and they did not renew my contract. My German is terrible, or was back then. It's gotten better. So, and then I spent I found out that I lost my job the day before I flew out home to Minnesota. So I was actually ecstatic that I had lost that job, because it was misery. When you hear coffee shop, that's not what it was. I mean, it was, but it was so hectic. It was a hectic coffee shop. Not the European thing I had fantasized when I applied for the job. It was more of a cafeteria style thing. But anyways, so I had a moment. I had this time, and I was in this transition mode during May of last year, where the direction I was on, thinking I was finally getting settled in, thinking I was getting better at German, thinking I was getting, a job and working on, contributing to our household, that had fallen through. I was now back home at my roots, just because that was part of our planned visit for that summer. And I did a whole bunch of reflecting. And one of the things I did was I met up with an old high school friend. And by the way, I'm a storyteller, so I just have a few stories to share. And that's how I'm. So prepare yourself for a ride. Um, and I was in Minnesota thinking about my next steps, and I was actually really excited, even though I had lost this job, and it didn't bother me, you know. Usually I'd kind of might spiral down something about being good enough or whatever, but instead I had a visit with my friend, and here we are in dairy country, Minnesota. Grasslands, flatlands, corn's growing. Well, might have been too early in May. Yeah, we should have been there. And my friend is a Reiki healer now, and she has her own little studio. And we did a little session, a little trade. I traded her art, and she gave me the session, and we had a good long talk about where I am in my life and stuff. And one of the things that I realized was that I had been hiding who I was, trying to protect. In my mind, what was going on, I felt like I was too much for our marriage. I am too artsy, too spacey, too woo woo. Like I'm a nut job. And I'm married to an engineer, and it's like he can't, and I didn't think he could handle this. And yes, we've been married for 10 years, but I still, even last year, I was just certain that it was about to end any second. Like he would just want something. Something was going to make him snap. But anyways, that really encouraged me. She encouraged me. She said one of the things she said was, when you hide, you are what she said to me is, you are hiding who you are from your marriage, even though you think it's helpful. You're not being true to yourself, and you need to embrace everything. And that was, I'm telling you this story because that kind of opened me up to be like realizing, you know what, yeah, I am this artist, and I've been trying so hard for like the last 9 years to not make it as important to me as I was trying not to admit how important it was for me to paint. And we get back from Minnesota, get back from travels and visiting people in North Carolina, and I was in Germany, and somebody I've been following for a long time. Her name is Jessica Saran. She has a whole website and program called Becoming Artist, and I followed her. I've been following her for a year. Last year it worked. 2 years ago it worked out that I got to go to Prague and see one of her art shows from her people from her graduating class, and she started announcing this program coming up called Becoming Artist training program. And I've been really good about I haven't been swept away too much by coaches. I really like following them. But she started sharing these emails and did a little challenge. And basically it was like reading my journal. Like, it's like she had gone into my heart and like said all that stuff I couldn't even say about terrible things, terrible things I felt about myself. And I was, or thought or believed, and I was like, and like reading it on paper, she's like, is this you? Do you think this? Do you think that? Is this, do you feel this way? And I'm like, oh crap, I do. And I realized, I was like, oh, okay, she, like, sorry, I get emotional. She gets me. And I felt seen. And and I cry when I'm excited, so you'll probably be seeing this a lot. So don't feel bad for me. If it's another thing I'm getting used to is crying in front of people. It's so annoying. But so anyways, so this was me at the beginning of my program. I have to go revisit my feelings. So I was feeling lots of things. And I'd spent a lot of those days crying and realizing, like, first I realized this about me. I realized I didn't want this to be my way anymore. And I was just furious that here I am, 40 years old, not being an artist, not following my dreams of, whatever that is, of being an artist. And I decided, I was like, I'm so done. I'm done piddling, piddling around. And I'm going to figure this out. And I was like, you know what? It's time for something different. Like, and I've never had a coach before. I've never been in a program before. And then I realized I really haven't actually invested in my art before. Like being an artist. So this program was a year. It was $2,000. I had even chosen not to go to college when I was in high school. Art was the only thing I wanted to do and study in college, and I chose not to go to college because I figured it was such a pointless investment that you can't make money from art, so why put money into it? So the problem came that I had to talk to my husband. Here I am. I don't have a job. He's an engineer. He's logical. Everything was afraid of for these last 9 years of revealing to him. I was about to tell him that I wanted to do this program and spend money on it. Like, that was absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And I started thinking about how I could make this work. And the thing is like, and this is the thing I forget about myself. I can figure out how to get something done. I have made a lot of goals for myself and I've completed them. And there's a way. And if I put my mind to it, I can do it. So once I remembered that part, I was like, oh, I could probably, I have art. I have a lot of friends who want me to succeed. I think I could ask for help and get $2,000. And the crazy thing is that however the deal worked or whatever happened, it was like I had 3 days to raise $2,000. That was before this special or the program started or the end date came or whatever. I had been traveling, so I had to do 2 things. One, I had to have a real talk with my husband, and that was one of the most terrifying things in my life because I basically thought it was like could change my marriage. And we had this long holding hands, walking through a park. I cried, like sobbing, crying, and I just said, and that was like probably one of the first times I feel like I just poured out everything. I poured out how I want to have my business. I poured out how it's important, and I want to paint, and this is my life, and I have to figure it out. I have to figure out how to get it in my life. And then I waited for his horrible reaction and minimizing and diminishing and trying to rationalize me out of it, and he didn't. He said, okay, let's figure this out. He's good. So, lesson learned, it's all in my head. So I told him my plan, and then I enacted my plan. And what I did was I put out a call on Facebook, and I asked all my friends, or well, it wasn't just friends. I mean, I've had my business set up for a while, so I have an email list. I have my Facebook page. I have, my Facebook profile. I have groups that I have friends in. And I got everybody, and I just asked. I just put out an ask and said, look, this is important to me. I want to go on this journey for a year with this person that has just, looked into my soul. And I would, but I don't have the money. And here is what I can give. So I said I would do, I had 2 tiers, 2 options. One price was I will paint. I'm going to paint for a year. I don't know what's going to happen because this is a journey, but you all know my style. And whatever happens, I will let you pick. If you buy into this tier, you will get a painting from whatever I've painted that hasn't been claimed, paid for. And the second tier was, for a different price, I will paint you whatever you want on this 8x10 or A3 or whatever size paper I have. So, and I put that call out, and I gave a PayPal link, and I said, this is and I was, and then I explained it. I'm like, you aren't going to get your art for a year. Like, this is a time investment for you too. So, but I need the money now. And so I gave a good deal on my prices. And then I also told myself this. I was like, this is the lowest I will ever sell these paintings for again. And that was, so, thank you for my friends and sponsors who have, you followed me along on my journey a little bit. I haven't really been sharing about what's been happening in the program or what I've been learning, but I will be talking about that tomorrow. So, in 3 days, I basically got enough money. I got almost $2,000 in 3 days. I was just a tiny bit short. Then I found out there was a paying program. Then my mother-in-law she kind of offered to front the rest, which is amazing. So, I was just like a couple hundred off because, and mostly what happened was, the difficult part was trying to get the money to me being in Germany, which actually didn't happen. So I had to get it in PayPal, so not everybody had PayPal. So the real hassle, like I had it, it just was, some got delayed. Anyways, so thanks for following along on my story. And so I just one of these things I'm going to be doing in these videos is kind of sharing the lessons I learned as I went through. So the beginning, I have my lessons learned, or my takeaways, and I wrote them down. One is you have to know what you want if you're going to pick a direction, so you know which direction to go in. And you can figure this, and number 2 is you can figure this out, which, like, I know that, and I just kind of forget that sometimes. Like Marie Forleo says, everything is figure outable. And you can. I mean, we are creative people. You can figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, you know people who can help you figure it out. And 3 is community matters. And I've been believing that, and like I've had this theory in my head that community is important, but like watching so take me a minute. Watching my friends put in $2,000. Like, I don't know if you understand how little I had undervalued my art. It was, anyways. So, thank you. So, and to keep going with that is, people do want to see you succeed. If you know what you want and you want it so bad, and people can see, you don't have to cry to beg for it. I didn't cry. I'm crying because I'm grateful. But if people can, well, okay, I did cry for my husband, didn't I? But if people can see your passion, we're all attracted to passion, I think. And it's so, I think it's a rare thing to see in the world. And I think that when we can't see passion for ourselves, we can see it. We gravitate towards it in others. And so if you can just know what you want and be passionate about it, you will find people who want to see you make it. And they are there. Even if they aren't your immediate family, they're there. And my immediate family is here for me, just to clarify, because I know some people don't have that. And you are loved as you are. That was a big one for me. My analytical engineering husband, because that was the one thing I said. I was like, there's no ROI on this $2,000. This is just for me. Like, this isn't going to, it might not launch my career. Like, it might just be a learning experience. And he was okay with that. And the last one is, you have to ask for what you want. I spent too much time. I've spent too much time not asking. I'll ask for little things. I was good about that. But when it came to stuff that I was really afraid to hear no on, I'm really afraid to hear no when it comes to limiting art and painting. Okay, so all that emotional stuff is out of the way. Now I want to tell you about what's going to come up, what will be happening in the next few days. Next 3 days. So tomorrow we're going to go into the program, a little bit about the program. Not so much exactly what happened, but I have here sketchbooks to share and a little bit of the notebooks just to show those off and things we talked about, and more series and lessons I went through for the program. And then the third day and the final day, I know you're dying to see art now, and I will show art, but not until probably part 3, okay? So, I hope everybody could hear this. This is, I kind of got up early to do this live and get it out of the way, so that is it. So it'll be my story, lessons, art, hopefully inspiration, and let me know if you have any questions. Is there anything that you want me to cover or talk about, or anything you'd like to know? And I will try to cover those in the next videos. And thanks for being here. And I will talk to you later.